A young Indian woman embraced Adventist teachings and was baptized, despite her father's threats to kill her. This happened more than 100 years ago, and this young woman was one of the first Adventists baptized in India. Today, there are more than 1.5 million Seventh-day Adventists on the Indian subcontinent. Her amazing story and much more coming up next on Global Mission Snapshots.
Just before he went up to heaven, Jesus gave us a command. He gave us a mission. Jesus said, "Go. Go unto all the world, telling them of His love." This is our mission. This is our global mission.
Hello, I'm Gary Krause, and welcome to Global Mission Snapshots. Today we travel to Arizona in the United States to meet an Adventist couple who built a center of influence for the Navajo people. Find out how a road collapse is creating challenges to their mission. Also, after a devastating flood in Bangkok, Thailand, local Adventists responded with food, water, and a loving helping hand. Hear a first-hand account of the response from Sudhakar, who led a group of volunteers in touching the lives of people in need. But first, let's travel to Arizona.
Yes, it does get cold in northern Arizona.
Here in northern Arizona, there are beautiful rivers, rock formations, and people with beautiful hearts.
That's cool.
Meet Alan and Kelly Fowler. Several years ago, Alan, who is Navajo, returned to his home near Page, Arizona with his wife Kelly. They settled here with their family and found a mission to bring hope in Jesus to the Navajo people.
It started out somewhat as a family ministry. My husband, being Navajo, felt the call to come back to be here for his people and to teach them about Jesus.
They started a small community center near their home, but they had a dream of having a church in Page, the closest city. In 2011, Adventists around the world helped their dream move a step closer to reality when their project was chosen to receive part of the 13th Sabbath offering. Thanks to that offering, today there is a Seventh-day Adventist church in Page, but the church is still facing challenges.
There's a lot of opposition against us, and I think a lot of it is from Satan. Like the road falling in, that just totally cut half of our membership for the little church up at the community center.
Thanks to Alan and Kelly, some Bible workers, and mission trips, a small group was forming. That's when part of the main highway collapsed, separating people from their new community center.
There's a cliff, it's called Echo Cliffs, and there's a road that goes up that cliff, and the road fell in there. Most of the people that used to come just like 5-minute drive out to the community center now is pretty far for them. So,
on the other side of the collapsed road is a small community where Freddie and Sammy live. They used to participate in the small group, and the children enjoyed attending the vacation Bible school. But now it's difficult to get to the center or to the church in Page.
My kids got along with their kids, and we just started going to church.
Yeah, they came as a result of VBS. So all these little outreaches that we do, they so really reach the people.
When Alan and Kelly found out that Sammy and Freddie needed a better way to heat their house, they helped them get a stove.
They came by and it was surprising. They said that they had a nice stove that needs to be used. And I was like, I don't mind the stove, it'd be nice, you know. And I thought it was gonna be a small stove. It's pretty long, it's a big stove, and it's nice too.
Freddie studied the scriptures with the Bible worker.
He used to come by and we do like a verse. We do a verse, and then I come to church, like, you know, I come Saturday, and then he's speaking the same thing that we had a conversation and everything through here, and he'd be like, does anybody know that? And then I stick up my hand, you know, and then I say, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I remember that.
But then the road collapse changed all that.
Instead of it being 10 minutes to come to the community center, it's 150 miles. I know that sounds crazy, but if you look on the map, you'll see that N20 is the closest that they can come now. And it's far.
I wish we had more church, like closer, home.
The fact that Alan is Navajo makes a difference to the people they are trying to reach.
One of the things about being able to speak in the native tongue is you reach a lot more people, and then they understand it more because you dissect the word better. In Navajo, you can really relate. They can really relate to the words in the Navajo language.
Every time you speak in Navajo, it's an entirely different thing. It's not the same as the white. You don't hurry up and put the words to go together and go. No. You have to stop and think that the Navajo word means a lot.
The Navajo way of taking time to think and absorb the words means that progress here will take time.
That's what I used to tell the pastor that used to be here. I told him that. I said, you're spreading the word, but they're not going to respond to it very well. Not too fast. I said, they're not going to jump into it. Because God gave them that language, and they gave them a culture.
They say that on the Navajo reservation, you will not have made an impact until you've been there for 20 years. I only know of a few people that have made that commitment.
Alan and Kelly are ready to be here for the long haul, and many people have come on mission trips to help them. A group from Pacific Union College has come from Northern California to help. The students join the small group for church and learn about a Navajo shoe game on Saturday night. But the next day, they are hard at work using tires to build a retaining wall.
We have now the ability to be somewhat self-sustainable in our mission capacity because we're receiving 2 60 by 30 foot commercial greenhouses from Laurelwood Academy in Washington State, and they will be here April 1st to put them in. So now at this point, PUC is here, Pacific Union College is here to lay the groundwork for this.
Alan and Kelly say that more help is needed.
If you have a heart to come and join us here on the Navajo Reservation, pray about it, contact us, and we'll see what the Lord does. Thank you.
Please pray for all those like Kelly and Alan who are involved in Native American mission work. And thank you for supporting mission.
Thank you so much for all that you gave and all that you did and all your prayers to make this a possibility, because this is really a mission church.
You have to come together.
Next, we travel to Bangkok, Thailand, where Pastor Doug Venn, the Adventist mission coordinator for the Southern Asia Pacific region of the world, is talking with Sudhakar, a global mission pioneer.
I'm here today in Bangkok with a good friend of mine, Pastor Sudhakar Kempaiah, and he is a church planting pastor supported through your generous global mission offerings. And Sudhakar, I'm just so happy to be here again with you. And tell us, where is this church planting project, where is this project located in Bangkok that you're working
It's
at?
located very close to our mission hospital, from 15 minutes journey. It's the place is known as Bangkok Noi.
Okay, and what does Bangkok Noi mean in Thai?
It's not like small Bangkok,
Okay.
something.
All right, very good. So you're a part of,
Yeah.
you're in that segment of town called Little Bangkok.
Yeah, little Bangkok, yeah.
Okay, so what, when you first started in 2009,
Nine.
that's right, in 2009, what was it like as you were just starting this new church plant? What was that community like?
Yeah, the community was not friendly, and they were not happy with me. They looked at me like I'm an alien here. But as the time passed by, things went well. Yeah, first the community never invited us. They're looking us strangely, but slowly as the time passed by, they became friendly and we were able to share the word of God.
Why did they treat you like an alien?
I didn't know, because maybe they thought that we are here to trouble them. The reason behind, I have no idea, but certainly some people had a plan on the property where we are ministering at. So, but slowly when they came to know that we are here to help their community in language, in their health, and they liked it, and slowly they appreciate and they invite us. So now when we walk around, they are very much concerned. They ask us, how are you doing, how is your daughter, and I feel happy to be there.
Right. Sudhakar, what are some other things that you are doing as a Global Mission Pioneer church planting in your community?
We give Bible study and we teach English, and we also have some health and counseling, and we visit them.
What are you doing practically in your community, like during the flood that happened in Bangkok? What was a practical way that you, with your church plant, were able to meet some of the community needs?
In the flood time, I think all the church plants were involved in helping their own community. So in our community, the roads where everything was blocked and it was flooding, so we were thinking what to do. So then the community leader came to me and he said, Pastor Sudhakar, you have a good place here. Can I have a permission to make some EM, that is known as effective microorganism? So he said, when there is a...
And what do they do with this effective microorganism?
He explained to me that this will stop the outbreak of any plague from waterborne diseases. I said, well, that's very good. And I said, yeah, we as a church planter, we would like to join hands in helping the community. And he brought a big tank of almost like 500,000 liters. We filled the water and we did this effective EM, known as EM microorganism water. And we allowed the Navy to carry this water and pour it around the community, so that any waterborne disease will not break out.
Can you tell us what is the story of Mr. Happy and this airline pilot? How did you meet him?
Yeah, I met him at Bangkok Adventist Church before I was working as a church planter. So Kun Happy, I think he has seen some of our Adventist television channel, and he came to know our Adventist Sabbath truth and all our vegetarianism. So he liked Adventism, and that's how he came to BH Church, and we met him there.
And what was his profession?
He was a pilot.
All right, so he was a commercial airline pilot?
Yeah, commercial airline.
And so what was it like to give Bible studies to him?
He has a lot of questions. Even when he goes back home, he'll be texting message, only questions. Pastor, what does this mean? What does that mean? He has a lot of questions.
Right. And so, like, what kind of questions did Brother Happy ask?
Most probably he'll be asking about Sabbath, and he used to ask what is about how we have to be in the end times, we as a Christians, and how I have to keep the Sabbath day holy. So even the minute, very sensitive things also, he used to ask so many things.
Right. So then that way, as you were able then to open God's Word and help with those relationships in his life. Well, that's thrilling. So what happened after you studied the Bible with Brother Happy?
He took me to Acts chapter, I think Acts chapter 8, where this Philip baptizing that one of the Ethiopian. He said, see, Pastor here, he was baptized very soon. So after 1 month of Bible study, 1.5 months, he said he wanted to be baptized with his whole family. And he was baptized, and he was a very strong supporter, and he used to be regularly. Even the lesson study, if one day Kun Happy is not there, they used to miss him, because he's the one who used to ask a lot of questions, and they enjoy reasoning out and explaining to him, and he was nice person.
Well, I know that Pastor Sudhakar, as you were on the front line helping people like Mr. Happy to meet Jesus and opening God's precious word and teaching them, what a joy that is that you have to see the people and their lives being changed, their families being changed like you just shared. And so thank you so much for your service. Thank you, Pastor Sudhakar, for sharing how your local church plant as a global mission pioneer is making a practical difference in your community. Gary, now back to you.
Well, don't go away. We'll be back right after a short break. Welcome back to Global Mission Snapshots. My guest is Dr. Benjamin Baker, and Dr. Baker works at the Office of Archives, Statistics and Research at the Seventh-day Adventist World Headquarters here in Silver Spring, Maryland. Dr. Baker, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You do a lot of research. You're a historian, but what I love is the mission stories that you uncover from the past, and you have a terrific story to share with our viewers today, so why don't you go ahead and share that?
Thank you, Gary. I'm highlighting two women of extraordinary faith and courage. Born in 1866 in California, Georgia Ann Burris became a Seventh-day Adventist against the will of her parents at age 16. She attended today's Pacific Union College and shortly after graduating volunteered for mission service in India. At 29 years old, she sailed to the Asian subcontinent in January of 1895. And when she set foot on the bustling dock in Calcutta, became Adventism's first full-time missionary in India. Little did she know that she would soon meet another single woman who was to be the first of her kind. Georgia's first task was to learn Bengali. As she grasped the basics of the language and immersed herself in the culture, she decided to open a school for Hindu girls, which she did the next year in 1896. Upon their request, Georgia also began visiting her students' families at their homes to teach them English from the Bible. One day she visited the home of a family called Biswas. In those days, the houses in India were more like compounds, extended families living together with the men and women in separate quarters. In the Zanana, or the women's quarter, Georgia met a beautiful, bright-eyed girl of 11 named Nani Bala. Burris learned the young girl was already a widow, her husband having died years earlier. An immediate bond developed between the two. The missionary continued to visit the Biswas Zanana, teaching the women English from the Bible once a week. At first imperceptible, as the visits continued, Burris could see that the Word of God was taking root in Nani Bala's heart. When the other women had lost interest in her Bible teachings, only Nani Bala was left. Nani Bala expressed to Georgia that she wanted to become a Christian, but was scared of her family's reaction, which she knew would be hostile. Sure enough, when her father found out that Nani Bala wanted to convert to Christianity, he forbade his daughter from studying with Georgia. But Georgia and Nani Bala continued in secret. When her father found out, he beat her so severely that night she ran away to Georgia's mission house. To make a long story short, Nanibala returned home when her father promised the missionaries to be tolerant and allow his daughter to practice her new faith. But when Nanibala returned home, her father grabbed her and locked her in a room in the house, swearing he'd murder her if she tried to escape and murder anyone who attempted to free her. Nanibala, at first sobbing to herself, soon dried her tears and pleaded with God not just for escape, but for the opportunity to serve her newfound Savior. It was on Sabbath, a day whose sanctity she had just recently learned of, that her prayers were answered. In those days, homes in India were built on all four sides of an open court, forming a complete enclosure. All throughout the week, workmen had been making repairs on the Biswaz's house. At quitting time on Friday evening, they had left a ladder lying in the open court of the enclosure. On Saturday, when she arose from her prayers, Nanibala looked out from her window and spotted the ladder. She immediately knew that God had answered her prayer. At midnight, when everyone was sleeping, Nanibala made her getaway. With the assistance of a sympathetic aunt, she escaped her room and hoisted the heavy ladder against the side of the house. Nimbly climbing it, she pulled herself onto the roof, scurried across it, then leapt down to the street below. By a couple of other miracles, the courageous Nanibala ended up in front of Georgia Burris that night. She had defied family, upbringing, culture, caste, and religion for Jesus. In the coming weeks, numberless efforts were made by the Biswaz family to wrench their little girl away from the Adventist mission. Her mother and grandmother came and with tears begged her to return. A rich woman from another Christian denomination, hired by the Biswazes, tried to entice Nanibala with deceit and cunning words and promises of unimaginable comforts to come back to her home. Her father even stationed men at the mission gates to grab his daughter when she walked by. But all to no avail. The 11-year-old widow was baptized in 1895, the first Hindu to convert to Seventh-day Adventism.
You know, it's just incomprehensible, an 11-year-old widow. Different world, huh?
Different world, different time.
What courage for someone so young. You know, what I was interested in as you were telling that story, how do you discover these stories? I mean, this was 100 years ago. I mean, you're the historian, but how do you do it?
I work in the archives.
Okay.
And I'm constantly, you know, looking in the old boxes and reading the old magazines and the periodicals, and I come across these stories, and they inspire me so much that I say they'll probably inspire others if I write them and tell them, and so that's how it happens.
Well, thanks so much for sharing with us today, Dr. Baker. Appreciate it very much. The Office of Archives, Statistics and Research, where Dr. Baker works, you can actually go to their website at adventiststatistics.org. That's adventiststatistics.org.
And adventistarchives.org.
And adventistarchives.org. Is it the same website, just a different?
Statistics is a different website, but they're all in the same.
Together, okay. Thank you very much. Next up, we travel from India to the country of Myanmar.
The country of Myanmar is located between the countries of China, India, Bangladesh, Thailand, and Laos. Its coastline lies on the Bay of Bengal and the Andaman Sea. Home to more than 59 million people, it is one of the poorer nations in this division and has seen political and economic strife since its creation in 1948. The capital city, Yangon, is a bustling mixture of cars, motorbikes, and pedestrians. The majority of the people who live in Myanmar are Buddhist, and Yangon is home to the giant pagoda temple. Every day, people come here to pray and offer up incense to Buddha. The Golden Temple is an impressive landmark on the Yangon skyline. On the outskirts of town is the Yangon Adventist Seminary. Currently, the school is housed in a series of small buildings, and the classrooms are tightly packed and full of children eager to learn. They study math, language arts, including English, science, and of course, they learn about Jesus. They also love to play. The Yangon Adventist Seminary has outgrown its current physical plant. The school has more than 450 students, and there's a long waiting list of families eager to have their children attend the school.
People send their children here for 3 reasons. The first is that they like the Christian values that we teach because they feel that this will help their children grow up to be better citizens. The second is that we teach English, something that the government schools do not offer. We also have relationships with other schools outside Myanmar, where the children can continue their studies after graduating from here.
The majority of the students here come from non-Adventist homes, so the school plays a major role in reaching into the community. Every morning, the children meet for worship, where they sing songs that tell of Jesus' love. This school serves as a wonderful example of how education can be a bridge to communities that are sometimes hard to reach. Please pray for the people in Myanmar and pray for the Yangon Adventist School as it continues its role of teaching young people through Christian education.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed our snapshots of mission from around the world today, from the deserts of Arizona to floods in Bangkok. From densely populated India to the unique sites of Myanmar, people in all these places are learning about the love of Christ. If you've enjoyed hearing mission stories today, you'll enjoy Mission 360 magazine. This magazine is full of stories and pictures of mission around the world, and we'd love to send you a free copy if you live in North America. Just call the toll-free number on your screen or visit our website at any time. You'll read stories of how God's blessing and guiding in the lives of dedicated men and women around the world. And please pray for the people and places you've seen here on this program. And pray for the global mission pioneers working in so many countries around the world in challenging situations. And thank you for your continuing prayerful and financial support of mission that helps make so much of this possible. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Gary Krause, and I hope you can join me next time right here on Global Mission Snapshots.